Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. Today we're going to be reviewing the Atomstack A5 M40 diode laser. And I'm going to be giving that laser away to somebody. Maybe you. Stay right there. We're going to get started right now. Alright, so let's jump right into it. I don't do the whole unpacking thing. This is the box it comes in. All of them come extremely well packed, so you don't have to worry about any damage during shipping or anything like that. And I also don't do the assembly. I figured I'd run through it real quick right here. The one thing I do differently in assembly is I put the timing belts on the gantry first. Makes it real easy to do. Then I slide the rails in. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. The whole thing took maybe 10 minutes. No, I'd say maybe 20 minutes altogether because I couldn't see the little screws on the mounting plate. So, but not a big deal. Got the whole thing done in maybe 20 to 25 minutes tops. I really didn't pay attention to the time, but finally got those screws put in properly. And then it's time for the first run. And the first thing I did was, now this doesn't have limit switches, so I just went ahead and slid the laser over to the 200 mark on the gantry. You see it right there. There's a little pointer, and that helps you to align it. So I've got it set there now at the 200 mark, and I know that that's dead center. And then I came over here and I did the same thing on the left side of the gantry, set that to 200. It has the same little pointer. And now I'm going to make sure that the gantry has the right numbers on it, because some lasers don't. So what I've done here is I've loaded my bed grid in lightburn, and I'm just going to go around. And I clicked on the little map icon on the left toolbar, and then I clicked on the screen where I want the laser to go. So I'm doing all four corners of this grid that I've got on my workbed. And you can see it's responding perfectly. So no problems with this whatsoever as far as the first run. And then all I did is send it to the direct center, 200 by 200 again. And that's it. So no problems communicating. It was, simple. So now I'm going to do the actual first run with it. And I want to mention that the settings that I'm using in this video are not my settings. They are the recommended settings from Atomstack. So I had forgotten to focus that. I had to flip it over and focus it and redo it. But anyway, this is the first run, and I figured I'm going to do my logo. I like doing my logo. So the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to do the engraving. And then when the engraving is finished, it's going to come around and cut out the logo from the wood. Now this is 2.7 millimeter plywood. I'm sorry, this is 2 millimeter plywood that I'm working with here. So you can see the engraving is almost done. And then it's going to come around and cut it out. And like I said, I'm using Atomstack's recommended settings. So this is going to be a fair test of what they represent. You can see the engraving is just about finished. And there it goes. And it's going to come around and do the actual cutout. Now, I set this to 2 passes, but if you look carefully, you can see that 1 pass it's going straight through. You can see the laser beam hitting the bottom, the reflective material I have underneath the honeycomb bed. Oh, I'm sorry, that was 1 pass. Yeah, okay. So there's 1 pass, and it did a fine job. Came out perfect, clean. So that fan must be doing something. There's no air assist on this. There you saw when I flipped it over the first time I forgot to focus it. And this is 2.7 millimeter wood. I'm sorry, plywood. I keep getting my numbers wrong. But you'll see here, I'm going to measure it so that you can see it. 2.7 millimeters. So it's almost 3 millimeter plywood. And this is the standard card that I use, test card. And this came out amazing. Now, I did this at 4,000 speed, 100 power on the dithering, which is the image. I got from 5% to 95%. You know, I haven't gotten that before, as you know, as far as getting that wide of a spectrum. So it did a really fine job. And on the cuts I did at 120 speed, 100 power. And if you look at the parabolic cut and the straight cut on the left and the right, you'll see, I mean, it just did a really awesome job on the test card. I run these test cards on every new laser that I get, so I can get a ballpark idea of how I should do it. And I run it on 1.5 millimeter basswood. So I thought I would get a little, take a little risk here. And I decided to get some 2 millimeter acrylic. So this is a black acrylic. And the left three passes, the left three sides, the left three squares are 2 passes, and the right 3 are 1 pass. And just every one of them cut. You know, I was expecting 6 different results. I didn't. Now the right side, I put the numbers in wrong. That's supposed to be 60, 80, and 100 on the right side. So that's 60, 80, 100, 1 pass. On the left side is 140 to the left, 120 in the middle, 100 on the right. 2 passes. All 6 of them cut out just beautifully. And, you know, that, like I said, that just shocked me. Because I really was expecting 6 different results. And this is a 5-watt laser. So I really didn't expect a 5-watt laser to cut that. And I'm guessing that it's probably because they're using a better lens. That's the only thing that I can attribute this to, is that they've got a better lens in here. So then I decided to get a little more ambitious. And I figured, well, being that I've got the acrylic out, let me go ahead and I was already working with the acrylic on the CO2. And you'll see here on the top is the CO2 where I did some inlay on clear acrylic. And on the bottom is what I'm doing here, right here on the laser. And these are keychains. And this is 3 millimeter acrylic. And it did a really fine job on it. I was really shocked. Now I did set the cut, I think on this one, to be 2 passes. But it cut it out on 1. So it didn't need that second pass, even though I did it. But did a really fine job. And you know, this is, the engraving was superb. Look at the image on the bottom left. I mean, that is this piece that I'm cutting right now, the engraving and the cut. And it just had a very clean edge. So now I got out some 3 millimeter plywood. This is 3 millimeter 3-layer birch plywood. And I decided to make a Valentine clock for my wife. And I should have done the engraving first and the cut second, but you know, that's my life, is just making stuff and redoing it. And this is from the other piece, the cutout from the middle. And here I'm just cutting out all of these little small numbers and the names to put on the front of the clock. I want you to notice that little heart right there. The heart and the 8 and the 6 just cut clean through with the Atomstack recommendations. So let's take a look at it. See how everything just drops right out? Now there was, I think there's an anomaly in the wood right there. And if you look, that's the only spot. Now there's no way that it cut out that little heart and, you know, the 8 and the 6 and everything else, and not cut out that you know, that one line. So there's got to be like an anomaly in the wood right there, I'm guessing. And all I did was take my X-Acto knife and finish the cut. And if you run into this problem, stick it into the kerf and just bend it down, and you'll hear it snap. And right there was the snap. And then it is separated now, but with the little curly Q on the left and the right side, makes it kind of hard to get out because they get stuck in the kerf. So it just takes a little wiggling. You got to be careful not to break these things. And look how beautiful that came. See that little heart? I mean, it's just perfect. It did a fine job. I was really very surprised. Very surprised. And if you look and see, look at the tiny little numbers. Look at the one with the, you know, the corners, the bottom and the top. It just came out perfect, perfect, perfect cut. All right, so what are my opinions on the Atomstack M40? Well, I'm going to give it a big thumbs up. I didn't have any issues with the assembly. I didn't have any issues with the first run. No issues with the control program. Now, you know, you might use Laser Gerbil or something like that. I use lightburn. It responded perfectly. There wasn't one error, one mistake, except for my own mistakes. I forgot to focus when I cut out my logo, so I had to redo that. But, you know, only my mistakes. Those were the only problems that I had with it. And for a 5-watt laser, I'm going to say that so far this is the most impressive 5-watt laser that I've seen to date. The laser diode on this is superb. And I'm not sure if it's the diode. It's probably not the diode. It's more likely the lens that they're using, the collimating lens. That lens is probably a much higher grade than lenses that have been used in the past. And that's probably why it's doing such a fine job at everything. The engraving is perfect. The cutting is perfect. I was very surprised, as you saw with the acrylic, the way it cut through that acrylic. Every single pass, every single cut was perfect. And, you know, I had 6 different cuts there because I was expecting 6 different results. And to my surprise, I got the same result with all 6 cuts. So that's impressive as far as I'm concerned. I can't wait to see what the M50 does. This is the M40. I also have the M50 here. That's not going to be the next one. The next one is going to be the long array 5. And that one is going to be, that one has the touch screen and all that kind of stuff on it. So after the long array 5, we're going to be doing the Atomstack M50. And if it's anything like this one, that one's going to get a big thumbs up too. And then I've got another company that sent me another laser that's not an Atomstack, but it comes from the same factory. So we've got that one as well. All these are going to be given away. I'm not keeping any of these. So there's no motivation to me personally to do these reviews or to give a good review to any one company. I'm giving you the review based on my opinion. And based on my opinion, this is a good laser. There's no question in my mind. Now, if you need limit switches, you know, and you need to have automatic homing and all that kind of good stuff, well, maybe it's not for you. But let me tell you, you don't need limit switches. You don't need automatic homing. Just grab the laser head, bring it to the front left corner. You're homed. That's all there is to it. You know, set your work in absolute coordinates. Work your jobs either from the center or from the corners. And that's all you need to do. So yeah, I'm giving this one a big thumbs up. I hope you're happy, Atomstack, because I'm happy with the results of it. So let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And don't forget to enter that raffle, because you might take this one home. So this is February's laser raffle. And there's only half a month left, and there's only a couple thousand entries so far. So head on over there, get into the raffle. Maybe this one will be coming to you soon. So leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.